If you were to diagnose Pakistan's Islam and its hatred for India, which is very intense, besides the fact that Jinnah wanted a country that he could rule, so he wanted to create this divisiveness, and besides the fact that the British always had this divide and rule, those guys are gone. It's been 70 or whatever years that those guys are all gone, but the hatred continues from their side. Is there something peculiar about their brand of Islam, and is there some way that we can, you said we should not deal with those guys because there's no hope, but in our case, unfortunately, we have a huge border, so we need some way to deal with them. Any thoughts you have?
As you know, I'm a big fan of Pakistan. I'm a big fan. I'm going there for my honeymoon. I'm joking. I have always said this. Every country has an army. Except Pakistan, the army has a country. So. And this in itself basically explains the whole problem. An army that wants to govern a Muslim community, they need to justify everything they do with the book. This book could be the Bible, could be the Torah. As long as people believe in that book, they will use that book. If the people believed in the American Constitution, they'll use it. They don't mind. The point is, what works in that area? It's the Quran. They will use it. If you gave me a violent verse in the Quran, I'll give you 10 from the Bible, the Old Testament. The issue is not an issue of verses. The issue is an issue of interpretation. And throughout time, interpretations of the same verses have always changed. Why? Because they interpret based on their own culture, based on their own needs. And it's not in Pakistan's interest or its army that India thrives and grows. And therefore they try to identify the neighbor as this evil monster that should never be dealt with. Whereby many governments who are Muslim would be honored to have India's embassy as the first embassy. They treasure and value the relations with India. The problem is, it's their choosing, them rejecting you is their way of saying that, look, we are not worthy of dealing with you. And you said that Jinnah established a country and he's gone and therefore the hatred should be gone. No. He established the hate and it remained. It was a bad idea that worked out perfectly. So let's just have this point very understood before I pass the mic on to you. Let's not make it seem as though Pakistan was a good plan and something wrong happened. No. It was a bad idea from the very beginning and it worked out really well. That's one thing we need to understand. What interprets the Quran is the clerical system, the clergy, who use history, who use language, who use philosophy. There is a historic interpretation of the Quran. There's a philosophical one. There is one based on hadith only. There's a cultural one. There's a political one. So the interpretation of the Quran, there are at least 1,000 interpretations out there. At least 1,000. And the more we have technology, the more we have, the printing press, the more interpretations emerge. The more we have, the ability to write and produce and fund, the more interpretations emerge. So what produces Quranic interpretations are these scholars, those who have reached a level of ijtihad in Shia Islam, a level of being an alim in Sunni Islam. And they are the ones who are ordained by their superiors.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here and also hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified. To donate, please click this button.